The bar was quiet that evening, the kind of stillness that came after a long day. A few low conversations, the clink of ice in glasses, the soft hum of a country song on the jukebox. At the far end, a man in his late 30s sat alone, staring at the worn photo in his hand, a picture of a smiling little boy holding a toy jet. His name was Jack Walker, a single dad, a veteran, and a man who carried more scars than he could count, both inside and out. Jack had been through hell and back. He wasn't the loud type who bragged about his service, or the kind to wear his medals around. He just wanted a quiet life, working at the auto shop, taking care of his 7-year-old son, Ethan. But even in peace, war had a way of following him, in the stares, in the questions, and sometimes, in the memories that refused to fade. That night, a group of young Marines walked in, fresh faces, loud laughs, the energy of men who hadn't yet seen the world's darker corners. One of them, a tall, confident sergeant named Cole, noticed Jack sitting alone. The scars on his knuckles and the faded unit tattoo on his forearm caught Cole's eye. "Hey, old-timer," Cole called out, half-jokingly, "you serve?" Jack looked up, offering a polite nod. "Yeah, once upon a time." Cole grinned, stepping closer. "Army, Navy." Jack took a slow sip of his drink before replying. "Marine Corps." That got their attention. Marines respected Marines. Cole's playful tone softened into curiosity. "No kidding. What unit?" Jack hesitated, his eyes flickering for a moment. "First Recon." The young Marine's brows lifted slightly. First Recon was no joke. But what really made the air shift was the next question. Cole leaned in with genuine interest. "What was your call sign?" Jack looked at him for a long second, his voice low, steady. "Reaper 1. The moment those words left his lips, Cole froze, his drink slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. The bar went silent. Every Marine in that group turned to stare at Jack like they were seeing a ghost. "Wait," Cole stammered, "Reaper 1. From Sanguine. No way." Jack didn't answer. He just reached into his wallet and pulled out a faded unit patch, the skull insignia that every Marine in the room instantly recognized. Cole sat down slowly, disbelief painted across his face. "Sir, you're the Reaper 1. The sniper who held the ridge for 3 days straight. The one who—" Jack cut him off softly. "That was a long time ago." But Cole couldn't stop. "You saved a platoon out there. My uncle was one of the guys on that ridge. He said you were a ghost, covering their retreat in the middle of hell. He said you disappeared after that mission." Jack's hand tightened around his glass. "Disappeared sounds about right." For a long moment, no one spoke. The Marines around the table just stared at him with awe, realizing they were in the presence of a legend they'd only ever heard about in stories, a man who had been the stuff of whispered campfire tales in the Corps. Cole finally broke the silence, voice trembling with respect. "Why'd you stop? Guys like you, they don't just fade away." Jack looked at the photo of his son again, his eyes softening. "Because one day, I realized if I didn't stop, my boy would grow up knowing me as a name on a wall. I'd rather he know me as a father than a fallen hero." The words hit hard. Even Cole, the proud young Marine, swallowed back emotion. They talked for hours that night, about service, sacrifice, and the things soldiers carried long after the uniform came off. Cole told Jack about his own struggles, how the Corps had changed since Jack's time, how it was getting harder to find leaders who inspired real respect. Jack didn't preach or lecture. He just listened, the way only someone who'd lived it could. Before leaving, Cole stood and saluted him, not out of protocol, but out of pure, earned respect. "It's an honor, sir." "Semper Fi." Jack stood, returning the salute with quiet dignity. "Semper Fi, Marine." As Jack stepped outside into the cool night air, he felt something he hadn't felt in years: peace. The ghosts of his past seemed a little quieter. The stars above seemed a little brighter. When he got home, Ethan was asleep on the couch, a toy soldier still clutched in his tiny hand. Jack tucked him in, kissed his forehead, and whispered, "Your dad's not a hero, buddy. Just a Marine who finally found his reason to fight again." And that reason wasn't a mission, or a battlefield, it was love, family, and redemption. The next day, Cole found a note left behind on the bar counter. It said, "Real strength isn't about how many enemies you face, it's about what you protect when the fighting's done." Signed, Reaper 1. That note was framed and hung in the Marine base's rec room. Every new recruit read it, every soldier remembered it. Jack Walker's legend lived on, not just as Reaper 1, the sniper who saved a platoon, but as the man who taught others that being a warrior isn't about never breaking, it's about having the courage to heal. And if you're watching this story right now, take a second to honor all the silent warriors out there, the veterans, the single parents, the ones still fighting battles we'll never see. Hit that like button to show your respect, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that remind us what true strength really looks like. Because heroes don't always wear capes, sometimes, they just wear scars, and a smile for the ones they love.